All right, so welcome back to the Out of Chaos podcast, a discussion based podcast where we try to make some sense of the chaotic world that we live in. With me today, a very special guest and a close friend of mine. We actually met at work. Sachin, how are you, Sachin? Thank you
Um,
for joining me today.
I'm great, bro. Thanks for having me on the podcast, man.
Oh man, I'm excited. I'm excited. Sorry, man, this microphone's like not listening to me
That's
right
good.
now. But no,
That's
bro,
good.
I'm so happy to have you here. Very excited. For me, man, it's something that I've been waiting for a long time. As like I've spoken to you.
Yep.
There's so much to talk about, but like first, before we get started, just tell me a little bit about yourself, man. Like so people get to know you a little bit,
Like a full rundown, like where I'm
bro. Like a job
from.
interview
Yeah.
kind of. No, 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 I'm joking. No, like just like what's your interest, man? Like what are
Okay.
you? Like basically, so people know we met at Good Life, right? We're
Yeah,
working at
yeah.
Good Life like 2 years
So
ago.
yeah. So it's about 2 years ago, man. Like
Yeah,
we've met. It's been a ride, man. So I guess my interests pretty much align with like sports and stuff.
yeah,
I a little bit of background. I did my undergrad in kinesiology at University of Waterloo. I was there for 4 years, and now I'm doing my sort of second degree.
yeah.
I would like to think of it as second level degree in
Nice.
athletic therapy at Sheridan College, and that's another 4 years that I'm going to be finishing up in April of next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
It's
sports.
amazing, bro. Cause I mean, when we met, just so people know, like you did training, right? Like
Oh
I
yeah.
was a front desk dude, like just scanning people in, and you were the trainer, right? So
Yep.
that's how we kind of met. It was pretty interesting at Milani, or it's Milani, right? So
Yeah, definitely.
how was like that journey? Cause I know, like talking a little bit about like training and stuff. Like
hmm
how you're still there, right? Or
Yeah.
Good Life?
So training actually, man, right now looks so different than it does, obviously,
Mm.
because of the pandemic and
Yeah,
whatnot. But man, training has been great to me. Like I'm able to like build my own hours, sort of thing. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like I'm able to go to school and still work like full time, which is something that's challenging at first. But honestly, you get into the routine of doing things, like it becomes like not that difficult, easily manageable.
yeah,
That's one thing I really love about the job, and something that also helps me to practice what I learned in school as well. Because one thing about my program and my stream, it's always repetitive, right? It's
yeah,
like constant repetition, constant like, so you got to practice. Now, you don't practice, you'll forget most of the things like anatomy and stuff like that.
yeah.
Yeah, like, yeah. Well, don't even get me started on anatomy.
No, no, bro. But like honestly, like so the reason why I wanted to have you on, man, is because like we've been on a journey. It seems like a lot of times like we're almost on the same journey for some reason, right? Like
Indeed.
it's weird because it's not with a lot of people that you usually connect and stuff, and it's kind of what we were talking about the other day, that like we're so different. Like
Yeah.
I'm slightly older. You're like we're from different countries,
Yeah,
like
that's true.
different upbringing. Like
Definitely. Different
but
cultures.
so for the people that like have no idea what the hell we're talking about, it's like maybe what some examples, like where did you first notice that, like maybe at Good Life, right?
Oh,
Or
yeah.
just like us like having similar interests in like
Yeah,
food and
just
stuff, right?
similar interests, like similar understandings, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like we look at the things, like we look at instances that occur around good life, around work,
yeah,
and we understand the same thing from the situations, you know what I mean? Like we have that similar sort of grasp where we can take a step back and we can
yeah,
like analyze something, you know what I mean? Which is it's something refreshing because sometimes when I give my like thought of opinion, like most of the times people are like what led you to think that? You know what I mean?
yeah.
But I feel like whenever we have a conversation, it's like we just like get each other. You know what I mean? Like we
Yeah.
fit like a puzzle almost, right? Which
I
is
mean,
which is
I get,
crazy.
you know where it was. You know where I think it was that it all started. Like when I so a couple episodes ago, I had a guest and she was asking me, "Do guys do that where like if a girl is messaging, they'll dissect the text
Oh.
message or whatever?" And I was just like, "No, we don't, we don't do that." And so, like for people at home, that's actually how we even kind of got close, right? I would
Yeah,
message you, but yo, I have to
totally.
tell this story because I don't think you saw it until I told you.
Yeah.
But there were so many times where like you made things so awkward, bro. Like,
Yeah.
and you didn't even
Oh,
mean
trust me,
to.
bro. I know.
But like,
I'm so sorry for like
yeah.
all that, bro. But yo,
So like, let's tell the story so that people
yeah.
understand. Like, what was the first thing that you did? Like, oh, like
Oh man,
what
you
from your perspective? Like, because I was
yeah.
two different perspectives, right?
Okay, yeah. So I'm finishing up my shift at Good Life,
Yeah,
and I'm walking out. I see the front desk staff. I'm saying hello. I'm saying bye. I'm saying see you tomorrow. I see Oscar and I see the female, and I'm like, okay, when you guys gonna start dating? You know what I mean? Or are you guys banging yet? You know, something like that.
And you were just saying like as a joke,
As a
right?
joke, I had no idea that him and her had any interests.
Yeah,
I literally said that as a joke.
Yo, it was so, and like, what happened though? Like, because I was embarrassed. Like, did you notice? Like, what did you see? Like, did you see anything?
There
Like,
was
a reaction?
noticeable like embarrassment in both of your faces.
Yo, I remember going. I remember going. Didn't I text you? I'm like, I got in the car. I'm like, dude, why?
Yeah,
did
you did. I got in the car and I got a text from Oscar and it's literally saying like, "Bro," I was like, "Yo, what happened?" And he goes, "What did you do?"
You
And I'm
baited me out so bad. It got so
Bro,
awkward.
that
Cause
was
you know
hilarious.
what it was like. If it was like that we were talking,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have. Like, it would have been weird, but like it would have been just jokes, right?
Yeah.
But it was at that point where it's like you're like starting to like notice.
Just getting the ball
Like it's
rolling.
at like the most delicate and awkward point, and this guy's like, "So you guys dating yet?" Like what the hell?
Yeah, both of you like don't even know how to make like the real first move yet, and I'm like, yeah, just get it over with, like get in there.
Dude, that was funny, man. And then there's a second time. There's a second time that could have been weird, but it's like, do you remember that you were coming from the back and you just saw me and you thought I was alone?
Oh yeah.
And you're about to ask me like, "Yo,
Yeah.
Oscar," and I'm like, I gave you this look. I'm like, "Yo, chill."
I was literally about to do exactly the same thing.
Yo, literally exact same thing.
Yeah,
Oh man,
I'm just a loose cannon most of the times, you know.
worst timing, dude. Like, it's literally the worst timing. But luckily they didn't say anything. But like, it's crazy because so she was asking me. She's like, "Do guys do that where like they dissect the text?" I'm like, "Yeah, like we still do." The reason why I'm going to the story is because this is where we started to kind of talk more and understand,
Yeah,
right?
Definitely.
So, cause that's what's, bro. Like me and you would be like, "Yo," and the only reason why I even cared about dissecting was because it was crazy confusing.
Yeah. Well, no. The thing
Right?
is though, those messages, excuse me, those messages, like they needed a certain level of dissection. You know what I mean? Like they were encrypted. They were coded.
You need a
They had,
decoder, bro.
They had like Facebook and WhatsApp need like those messages, like you know what I mean, like that level of encryption. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy, bro. They had so many double meanings. You know, what I mean?
Yeah,
So
bro.
many things like were like, okay, wait, what is she really like hinting at here?
Yeah.
What are they really saying here? You know what I mean? Like because we like to take a step back, like I said earlier, right? Like we like to take a step back and see the situation as they are.
Yeah.
Because we both know you get too close to a scenario, you get too close to a situation, it's blinding. You know what I
Yeah.
mean, you literally just you have the blinders on, right?
Yeah.
It's hard to see the whole picture. But yeah, we totally do. I guess to answer that question,
Yeah, bro. You
guys,
need like
yeah.
anonymous to freaking dissect all that, cause that was crazy, man. And like, I don't do stuff like that. I don't care, especially if it's that decoded or
Yeah.
encoded.
Yeah.
But like, it was just what we're saying, right? Like, it's just the confusion was like from one extreme to the other. It wasn't even like a
Yeah, I
little bit.
know,
It was
I
like
know
it was like there were points where like, "Yo, this chick loves you," and then they're like, "What?" And then
Yeah,
there's
I was
another
like-
point where
I was literally like, is this even the same chick? Like, is this like really only 5 minutes in between these messages, right?
But it's crazy because now looking back, like it was so obvious and like you learn all this stuff, right? But that's going back to what I think it was Mia that asked me episode 9. She asked me if guys do that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
like if me and you were
yeah, yeah. Yeah, we
decoding.
do, we do.
Yeah, yo, and respect for that, man, for taking the time for
No
decoding,
worries.
for
No
decoding
worries, bro.
these text
Bro,
messages.
Bro, like I told you earlier before we started filming, bro, I'm curious, bro.
Yeah.
I want to know. I want to know
A
just
good
as much as
gossip,
you
yeah.
do. Yeah. I want to know just as much as you do. Like, what does she really mean here?
And like to those wondering what does she mean, like
Yeah.
I think she was it's like that typical like, you know, like I've been hurt before, but
Yeah.
I like you, but I don't want to get hurt. So
Yeah.
mad respect, like I do understand and stuff. Not trying to
Totally.
rip on her, but like yeah, it's still like crazy. Like you need anonymous or
Yeah, no, exactly.
level different level of decoding, man. But that's how kind of we started to understand. And I would always remember you. I'm like, oh, this guy like so close, so awkward, so many times. But yo, I wanted to go into like what you were telling me about. Like you said, you're so curious about things you want to ask, and that's me in regards to your table tennis career. Yo, like
oh yeah.
that's
Oh man.
crazy, man. Like
oh man. Okay. This is a can
So
of
we're
beans.
looking at a champion over here.
Oh man, yeah, you're doing me too nice, bro.
No, no, no.
So yeah, ping pong. I call it ping pong or table tennis.
Yeah.
Usually, people that get upset if you call ping pong table tennis ping pong, they're not
Really?
real. Yeah, yeah, they're not real table tennis people or ping pong people. You know what I mean? Like, I don't get offended or whatever. I love the sport. I've played it since I was 12.
Yeah.
I actually haven't played it in like the last 6 years. I'd say,
Mhm.
but yeah, I played from when I was 12 up until I was 19. Yeah, 19. And then I played 2 years for my university team here in Canada. But in my time playing, like I pretty much, I was on the national team for Guyana. I played,
What? Nice.
yeah, I played when I was on the U14 national boys team. And yeah, we played in Puerto Rico. We went to Cuba. We went
Wow.
like Trinidad, Jamaica. We went all over the Caribbean. Panama. Like I wanted to go to Venezuela. Never got the chance. Went to Brazil. Like yeah, we traveled, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I had a sponsor. This insurance company that my uncle was affiliated with. They actually had sponsored me for a little bit.
Wow.
Yeah, and I think the most impressive thing in my career, I guess, was as a U15 boy, I ranked in the U19 category, runner up.
Okay.
So that was a major achievement because that was only ever done a few times before. Not like I wasn't really like Hall of Famer sort of
Mhm.
thing, but I was like a really good player and I loved the sport.
Yeah.
And I still do love the sport, and I hope to get back into it.
Yeah, bro. No, that's amazing. That's such a crazy thing. Like
It's just a
you always
random
hear about
thought,
like, oh, I
yeah.
play soccer, or I play basketball, or whatever, but never like table tennis. It's so
Yeah,
unique,
yeah.
right?
Yo, funny story actually. Like, just remember this. Like, I moved to Canada in 2012. So sorry, there's something on my nose.
No worries.
Yeah, but the Summer Olympics in Beijing were also in 2012, if I'm correct. The trials for those Olympic Games were supposed to have been the year before, right? And I didn't even have a chance to train for those trials. I didn't even have a chance to. It would have been nice to see if I could have made at least
Yeah.
the first level. You know what I mean? Because it's not only until um, this year did the first Guyanese actually qualify for the Olympics as a table tennis player.
Okay.
And that's one of my ex doubles partners.
No
Her
way.
name is Chelsea Edgel. Shout out to Chelsea.
Shout
She
out
made
Chelsea.
she made it to the Olympics. Yeah, first
That's
Guyanese girl, first
sick,
Guyanese in
man.
general to make it to the Olympics. Yeah.
And you used to play with her.
Yeah, I used to play with her.
Yeah.
She was actually from my club. We played together. We trained together like
Wow.
multiple nights, multiple days. You know what I mean? Like,
Bro, that
it's a
could
team.
have been you up there, yeah.
Yeah, it could have been. It could have been. Yeah, for real. That's a dream, man. You know what I mean? Like,
That'd be sick, yeah.
it's still something I want to pursue
Yeah.
because I do have like a stronger understanding of the human body now
Yeah.
since my time at school, my degrees that I have now. I have a really good understanding of injuries.
Yeah.
Injuries were also sort of a segue that kind of prohibited me from, like continuing my career.
Mm.
I had like pain in my neck, right? I had torn a labrum in my shoulder, which it just means like you're tearing a ligament
Yeah.
in your shoulder. And it was tough. It was really hard to stabilize my shoulder and swing at the ball. Like
Yeah.
it would just get painful, really, really painful.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
How are like because you do therapeutic
Yeah, athletic therapy.
yeah, athletic therapy, right?
Yeah.
So like how is working with like how like what interests me, man, like when it comes to that
Yeah.
is how obviously it depends on the severity of the injury.
Yeah.
But like how is the psychology, like their state of mind when they get injured? It must suck for an athlete,
Oh,
right?
totally. Like we do, like Sheridan has a really strong program in the fact that we really focus a lot on athlete psyche.
Yeah.
A lot of our rehabs, like the second we're able to, I'm not knocking any other rehabs because I
Yeah.
know that they're all the Canadian programs are great. But I know Sheridan because I am at Sheridan. We really focus on their psyche. So let's say you're injured. Let's say you rolled your ankle really bad, right? But you're at the point where you can do simple like ankle movements. So like
Yeah.
you sit on the floor and you roll your ankle around in an A and a B, whatever your rehab is. We try to make you do that as close to the sport as possible. So if we can get you on the sidelines, we want you on the sidelines because we want the coaches to hear. We want the coaches to see your
yeah.
effort, right? That's going to help them to want to include you in the conversation, the pregame warm-ups,
Nice.
the mid-game, you know what I mean? That keeps the athlete hungry and
Yeah.
driven to get back onto the court, right? That's all the athlete psychology, right?
Yeah.
And we try to make sure that we don't bring them back to what they were, right? Because they know they were just injured at that, want to say, integrity level. By integrity level, I mean like strength of like whatever was injured, and
Yeah.
ligament, their ligament integrity level, right? We want to take them a step beyond. We want to make sure that that ligament is injury proof. Nothing will ever be injury proof,
Yeah.
right? Because as athletes get better and better, they produce more power. More power produces more torque. More torque on the joints is more injuries
Yeah.
can happen, right? And that's pretty much how injuries arise. Sorry.
So, like, did you have an injury? Like,
Well, yeah, I had a torn labrum in my shoulder from. It was not from playing table tennis, but it
Yeah.
was from bench pressing. I did a little amateur powerlifting show back in Waterloo, and I was going for a single rep max of a paused 265, and on the way down, I felt something stretch in my shoulder, and then trying to generate power off my chest, I felt something like the same thing that felt stretch. I felt like something like let go in my shoulder, and it just grinded the whole way up. And I was like, I didn't know what happened at the time.
Yeah.
Didn't bug me at the time, to be honest. Not for another like couple weeks. I felt like I was getting tired in the shoulder.
Yeah.
Right? It was kind of a weird thing. But now I understand it was a labrum, right? And the labrum is pretty much something that helps your, like, this is your arm bone,
Yeah.
right? It just helps your arm bone to stick in to
Oh,
the
okay,
joint.
okay, yeah.
That's the labrum. It just creates like a bigger contact area for the bone. Pretty
Oh,
much.
okay.
Yeah.
Man, I wanted to ask you, you, like, talking a little bit with you before, you were telling me, like, about your experiences coming to Canada and how you wanted to share that.
Yeah.
That's something I actually wanted to dive into in other episodes.
Okay, right on.
A lot of people that listen, like, I don't want to say they're mostly immigrant, but in one way or another, they're related to, like, immigrants, or right.
You got similar
And that's
experiences.
actually what I'm studying, right? Like, I'm finishing my certification to teach ESL,
Nice. Awesome.
and it's my passion, right? Like, I genuinely see the hardships that people go through when they come to the country and stuff.
Yep.
And for some reason, a lot of people tell me that, like, the community centers or, like, the teachers there, they're not that good. So like
Okay.
and so that's something I heard consistently growing up, which is why, like, when I was like, hey, I don't know if I want to teach high school, I don't know what I want to teach.
Yeah, right on.
I'm like, that's perfect. Like, ESL, I'm
Yeah,
passionate.
it's like giving back to yourself.
And I wanted
you
to
know what
ask
I
you,
mean?
like from what my professors have taught me and what I've seen, right, from teaching and stuff, like, immigrants, when it comes, especially to Canada,
Yeah.
they want to learn.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
it's not like
totally.
those little kids like at high school that you want to, like, backhand,
Yeah.
like,
No.
they
Yeah.
don't want to
no.
learn, right? Like, you actually want to learn the language. You want to be.
Yep.
So when I was doing my practicum for my ESL teaching.
Yep.
I was always shy to, like, correct people, right?
Oh, gotcha.
And my
yeah.
professor was like, "Listen, I promise you, is like,
They're
ESL
gonna
students
thank
want to be
you.
corrected.
Yeah.
Like, they're the students that want." I'm like, "Really?" Like, so yeah, they want to be corrected.
Yeah,
That's what
it's
you're there
true.
for. I was like, "Wow, that blew my mind." Right? So
Bro, you just
tell me
you
your
just,
experiences, man.
you just reminded me of one of my experiences, like when I first moved and I went to high school.
Yeah.
Oh man. So I moved in 2012. I had to redo my last year of high school. Okay, so I redid grade 12, and obviously I'm from Guyana, so we speak English there as a national
Yeah.
first language. But learning the Canadian language, and I say Canadian language, obviously I'm talking about English, but it's more to just English in the Canadian language, because there's a lot of French thrown in there in terms of like slang words, or
Yeah.
like just things people refer to in the short form. You know what I mean? Like your everyday Joe might understand, but
Yeah.
something that I had to learn or adapt to, right? One of the things I remember, funny story actually, when I was first trying to fit in high school here, I came out of a test, and I told my best friend at the time, I was like, "Oh man, I bombed that test," and I meant I meant that I killed it. Right,
Oh.
but I said I bombed it. The most enthusiastic bomb he's probably ever heard. And he looked at me and he goes, like, "What do you like? You're happy right now?" I'm like, "Yeah, cause I bombed it." And he goes, "Did you think you did well?" And I think yeah, I think it was great. He goes, "Then you didn't bomb it, you killed it." And he goes, "I'll explain the difference to you later."
"Oh wow."
But yeah, that was like something that was funny, but like obviously it's something lost in language, right?
Yeah,
Lost in
100%.
translation.
Yeah.
But that's just something interesting that
Like,
I remember.
how difficult was it though? Like, how old are you when you came?
I was 18. Yeah, 18 when I came.
18. Yeah. So how difficult did you find it?
Um, honestly, it wasn't that difficult. It was more of learning when to pause or
Yeah.
learn like when you're speaking. Because the Guyanese accent, like it sounds like it's a full run-on sentence.
Mm.
Like everything we say just sounds like it's a run-on sentence, and we pause at random spots in the English language, similar to most Caribbean accents, like
Yeah.
Trinidad accents or Jamaican accent, Bayesian accent. Um, what have you, right?
Yeah.
Um, and it's just different because it made me have to think a little bit more. Like I take a lot of pauses when I speak because I need to process where to
Mm.
pause, so people don't
Yeah.
think that I'm just speaking, like you know what I mean, like pedal to
Yo,
the
but
floor.
this is the thing though, man. I can't tell your accent. Like, and this wasn't that long ago,
No,
realistically.
yeah, it's true. It's not that long ago. I speak fully Guyanese accent at home.
Yeah, I heard you. It comes out. Yo, that's one of the things that like I love about immigrants, especially like my dad. He like lost his accent,
Yeah, yeah.
but like when he speaks to other people, it comes out. Like
Oh yeah, totally,
that's so weird to me. Like,
totally. Yeah, yeah.
because I don't know how that works,
Yeah,
right? Like,
well, for me, it didn't happen right away at
yeah,
once, right? And I really had to I listen. I had to listen more than anything else, and
yeah,
then understand how people express themselves, and then just do the same thing, copy pretty much. Now I can do it like that. Like if I were approached by somebody Guyanese, somebody Caribbean who I felt would understand my accent, it would come out like right away. You know what I
yeah,
mean? But if I've got the slightest doubt in my mind that something might get lost in translation, it's automatic. I don't even know how it happens. It's automatic, and my Canadian accent sort of just takes over, right? You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
Like, if I want, I can just start talking Guyanese, right? But it takes a little bit of effort.
Exactly.
It takes a little bit of
Yeah, I
practice.
got you. I
Right? It
got you.
takes
And that's because it's your home country. Right? Like for
yeah,
me, I was born here, so even if I wanted to switch to Spanish, like it would sound awkward.
yeah.
I
Okay,
could,
okay, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
could do it, but it would sound like really like forced.
No, I get you. I get you.
Like just unless you're trying to swerve. Like, no, but even then, it's just so forced.
Yeah.
Like because it's not natural, right? But
Okay, okay.
in previous episodes with I think episode I'm trying to remember, but like we're talking about first generation Canadian,
Okay.
right? Which is it was episode 3, and we're talking about how like I was saying that it's difficult for me to identify with anybody
Okay, yeah.
because like I was born here in Toronto, but I was like raised as a Hispanic, right?
Yeah. I mean,
But then again, my mom is from Guatemala, one country, and then my dad's from another country, El Salvador.
okay, yeah.
So like, and they lost their identity. So like,
Yeah,
I'm like
definitely.
a jumble, right? Like, cause I didn't learn English until I was like in grade 2.
Okay, okay.
And then my cultures are mixed because there's Guatemalan food and there's Salvadoran food. So I don't have like, cause there's people that like my guest that day, he's from El Salvador, right?
Okay, right
So
on.
like, as much as he was born in Toronto,
Mhm.
when he goes home, everything he consumes is like Salvadorian
Yeah,
food,
okay,
music, whatever.
gotcha.
But for me, like my mom had her culture,
Yeah.
and then my dad had his culture,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right? And they didn't practice their cultures anymore because
Okay.
they didn't.
Moving
Right?
to Canada is just kind of like an absolution. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
a lot of people just abandon their culture. They literally just like because I mean it's a lot of cultures out there, especially where I'm from.
yeah,
It's expressive, right? Like I was raised a Hindu in a Hindu home, and Hinduism is a big religion back home in Guyana, and a lot of our culture involves like visiting like flowing water. You know what I mean? Or performing like a home ritual like outside your backyard, but a lot of things you kind of can't do in Canada. You know what I mean? Like there's tighter restrictions
yeah,
that are in place, obviously for better society.
yeah,
Obviously, right? For everybody to have a nice, clean, equal society. Um, but it is. I mean, I'm just being honest here. It just feels a little stifling. You know what I mean? My culture personally, like being Hindu and stuff like that, I'm sure other immigrant Hindus like they'll feel the same, or not just even Hindus, like immigrant, like all types of cultures.
yeah,
They kind of have to suppress what you sort of know, just to kind of get along, because I guess the Canadian life is just like, it's nonstop. It's like 9 to 5. That's stop and go sort of thing. You know what I mean?
But you know what's funny? You know the one thing that our parents don't lose is beating us. Yeah, that's cute and everything, but I wish they could lose the beating.
Oh my God, that old school mentality. Oh yeah.
My.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's crazy. Like I'm literally blasting, but it's like who was the comedian? He was like, yeah, but if you're not beating your kid, like you're gonna leave him out when the story time, you know, like
Yeah.
most like immigrants, you know, got beat.
Yeah. See, my parents did the smart thing. You see, they moved to Canada after I was fully grown and just stopped beating me. You know
So
what
they
I mean?
wouldn't get arrested here. Oh
Yeah,
my
for
god.
real, for
No, no, but wait, but you got beat, right?
Oh yeah. with anything that they could find. And
Yo, all the Canadian people are like, oh my god.
totally, 100%. But it was just something that was normal back home. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is.
Like you go to school, like you misbehave, your teacher will whip you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
that's
they'll
what-
literally bend you over a bench and whip you.
Yeah,
You know what I
that's
mean? And
crazy.
it was a form of corporal punishment. It's still done in schools today. Like in Guyana, it's crazy. You know what I mean?
Oh, it's still done today?
Oh yeah. Like I know, like when I was in grade 3 or 4, I got hit with a meter stick and left a mark on my arm that was like 8 inches long, bro.
Jeez.
Yeah, for real. It was crazy. Like we obviously took that to the school and stuff. That wasn't okay. But it's not uncommon right now for like, yeah.
Yeah,
Children
no,
to get
and
beat.
like this might be like random to just start talking about this, but
Yeah.
we're here, and actually people responded a lot to that episode when we talk about family and
Mm-hmm.
that because it's something that we all relate to, especially like immigrants. But I don't want to just talk about like immigrant families, but like that whole beating stuff, right? Like
Right.
I mentioned in that episode that like my mom she would like yell at me, and she had
Mhm.
that culture from back home, right?
Yeah.
And it all changed when I was like, listen, like as long as you yell at me or
Mhm.
hit me, I will never listen to you.
Yeah.
But if you
There you
speak
go.
to me, like I promise, right? But the problem is, like, I remember listening back to that episode. I'm like, yeah, but I also know kids that they can like their moms are like, yeah, like they'll speak to them,
Yeah.
and they
That's
do not
true.
like. So
That's
maybe
very
they
true.
need like a
Yeah, and you know what? Like, that's the thing. Like kids over here will like feel so entitled to like,
Mm.
oh, you can't touch me or whatever. Like, and then they realize really later on in life that it was for the better. You know what I mean? They all of that learning curve or that learning that they want to do independently. Most of them realize that hey, what my folks were saying was actually for the better
Yeah,
for me. You know what I mean? And I'm really thankful that Canada has a good system. So it supports the no abuse. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you have multiple levels of assurity and reassurities. That like your teachers at school will agree. Your parents, the principal. You know what I mean? Like there's so many different levels. Back home, if you were to get into trouble in school, the only person that knew was you, your parents, and the teacher involved. They never took it higher than that. Right? The teachers were able to administer their own sort of punishment, independent of telling the faculty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is totally different here, because here you'd get detention. I think is that,
Yeah.
you get detention, right? Or you got to sit out or something. But it's completely different.
Yeah, and that's something I've been telling my mom, like, 'cause she always tells me like they try to defend it, which it makes sense. It's all they've known. It's the culture, right?
Yeah, it's the culture
I tell my
thing.
mom like, Mom, like I get it, but also like it does traumatize people, and it does,
Totally.
you know. So
Totally.
like like again, this podcast is about balance, right?
Oh yeah.
I'm not saying you should balance your kid by like beating them slightly, you know. I'm just saying like there's a balance between things, right? And like as much as I like I think my mom understood because we were talking. She's like yeah, like my grandma. She's like my mom was this, she was that. I'm like, Mom, I get it, but it still wasn't okay. And it might suck to hear, but like it wasn't okay, you know.
Yeah.
Because there's a fine line between abuse and like and just like a correction. Yeah, I think like a spank or something like it's whatever, right? But there's a difference between a spank and like a backhand to the face but what I don't consider that violent is a chancla. You know the chancla, the slipper, the Mexican slipper.
I know the chancla.
Bro, that thing curves around the walls, man. I'm
That thing
telling
curves
you.
around my nose, bro.
Yo, trust me, bro. Like,
Yeah,
and this is the thing. My mom has she always has had these she always gets like new pairs too. Like I hope she gets like Crocs or something. But there's these like indigenous native like from back home sandals that are made out of leather.
Okay. Oh yeah, I know those.
Yeah, so like bro, if you just like toss it a little bit, bro, it hurts.
Oh
like,
yeah,
it
they're
hurts.
heavy. They're heavy. Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
So like bro, she used to like sometimes like throw that at me like a little bit, not
Oof.
even like hard, like it's a little bit, bro. That would hurt.
Oh
Imagine like
yeah.
a nice whip. Like,
Oh yeah. You gotta do like George W, bro.
honestly, bro, like McGregor,
Jeez.
yeah, like, yo, trust me, like, and people will laugh at that so much because it's so true. And I
Totally,
see so
bro.
many like even videos of like the chancla, like the mom throws it and it goes up the stairs around
Yeah, I
the
just
hallway.
yeah, like a boomerang.
Yeah,
Oh, totally. Yeah, I get
I
that.
love that we're laughing, but like back then I was crying out of my everywhere, bro. It was so it
Yep.
hurt.
Yep. 100%. 100%.
Yeah, you can't
bro.
leave your kid out of those stories, though, man. You gotta throw the chancla every once in a
Yeah.
while.
You just have it there, like it's the elephant in the room.
Yo, have you seen Coco? Disney Pixar.
Coco,
The
Coco,
Disney movie
Coco.
Coco.
No,
It's
I
like a
don't think
little
I've
Spanish kid
Oh
like with
yeah,
a
yeah,
guitar.
yeah, yeah. No, I haven't seen the whole movie,
But
but
you know
I've
what I'm
seen like
talking
clips
about,
of
right?
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So like the grandma like she like tosses like from her feet. It goes
Uh-huh.
up to her hand and she like throws it like it's Captain America or something, man. That's crazy.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's like a superpower.
Yeah, that cheeses me though, man. Honestly, like, but it's like you had to learn how to. I don't know about you, man, but so I had to learn how to dodge. I'm pretty sure we all did.
Yeah.
But it's funny because you know that you got to that age where it didn't hurt anymore.
Oh yeah. You're just like, yeah, just keep doing it. Like
Yo,
just keep
but this
yeah.
is the thing. It didn't hurt, but you had to like pretend it did.
Yeah,
or else-
otherwise they never stop. Yeah.
or they would apply more pressure.
Pressure.
Yo, we're making our parents out so bad now, but honestly, it is the culture, right?
It's the
And
culture, man.
And that's
It's
the thing. I'll give my
culture.
parents this. It was never like I know people that
Yeah.
got. I want to say tortured, man. Like
Yeah. Oh,
literally,
yeah.
like I know this guy that he would cry too. He's like how his dad would make him kneel on rice and like whip him with like a metal like a belt with like how something that has like metal.
Damn.
Right, like that's not beating.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
abuse. That's torture, man. Like my mom would like throw a chancla on me or like spank me, but like it was never like torture.
Something
you
like
know?
that. Yeah, yeah.
man.
Well, the thing is, like, the punishment should always fit, the act, the incident. You know what I mean? And it's like you said, like, it's not like we hate our parents. Like, I love my parents. You know what I mean? Like, we
same.
love our parents. Like, it's just the culture. You know what I mean? If I could relive the way I grew up, like, in terms of my choices, my decisions, and my outcomes, I'd do it again.
Yeah.
Because I know when I kicked that kid off his bike, I deserve to get whipped by my mom. You know what I mean? Like I remember doing
You did
that.
Yo, tell me that story quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. This guy-
There's this kid. We were playing tag after school. I was probably grade 6.
yeah.
And he jumped on his bike, and he was like, "You can't catch me if I'm on my bike." And he's right. I can't catch him if he's
Yeah.
on his bike, but I can catch him if he's on the ground. So I just waited for him to ride really close to me. I kicked him off his bike, and I tagged him.
Oh my, jeez.
Yeah, I got a beating for that.
yeah. No, that's crazy, man. But like, that's what I'm saying. Like, hearing your story, like, as much like you getting these degrees, bro. When I met you, you were like, you were doing school. You were
Oh, yeah,
you
I
were
was
working
doing
out. You were
school.
training.
Man, when
You were
you
decoding messages for me. Like, bro, this guy was busy, right? So,
bro, I was a life coach. I was a personal trainer. Oh, no, for real, for real.
life coach.
For real, no,
I work for Anonymous.
I'll tell you my schedule because I still remember it to this day. It was crazy. I would wake up because I lived in Scarborough,
Mm.
right? I'd wake up.
Yeah. Sorry, yeah, I had to.
Take over squad. Yeah, no. Like we like I would wake up at like 6 in the morning. I live in Scarborough,
Mm.
right? I wake up 6 in the morning, pack my stuff, get
Yeah.
everything ready, leave by 6:30, get to campus for 7:30, because classes always started at 8. We started at 8 Monday to Friday, and we went till 2. Okay, so I was in class 8 to 2, and then I had a placement that was mandatory for school. That would start anywhere from 3 or 4ish, and that would go. And that's actually when I worked at TFC. That would go till about 8 p.m. or 8:30 or 9 p.m. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I was working at the academy, TFC Academy at Downsview Park. That was about a 4-month span. And then I pretty much resigned from that position because I was just not in. I was in a chaotic state, like mentally,
Yeah,
like
man, I
a chaotic state
remember.
like that. That was like, thank you for being with me through that period because
Yeah.
that was rough, man. And so yeah, and I would get home, finish at TFC 8 p.m. and not get home until 9. I was eating on the road, like eating lunch and dinner on the road. And I get home, I would just have like a smoothie, and then I'd call that a night. And I would still have
Damn.
to go. I still have to go to my study my room and study. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And study for classes the next day or exams the next day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So my schedule was literally like 6 to whenever I finished studying. That was usually like 1 or 2.
Damn.
You know what I mean? That 4 month span, bro, killed me. It killed my relationship. It killed my family relationships. You know what I mean? It killed like I didn't find myself doing anything I wanted to do. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Nothing for myself. I was just doing everything for like pretty much checking boxes.
Oh, it's
Like
the worst.
degree, internship hours, like girlfriend happy. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like that's literally how I felt I was living my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like nothing for myself. Excuse me, nothing for myself or for my self development. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
And
Yeah.
that's what I was trying to get to. That like now I know you're venturing into projects like
Oh, yeah.
like your car and like a
Oh,
side
yeah.
business. So like to end it, like man, talk to me about your project. I'm actually excited for you. So
Okay, yeah.
supposedly for those listening, correct me if I'm wrong. Supposedly this car is supposed to be faster than the McLaren or something. This Kia guys.
We're building a sleeper. I'm gonna put that out there. You guys can hit me up on Instagram at K24_coupe with a K. And yeah, you got the full details of the build there. But we're pretty much building a car with the same power to weight ratio as the most popular production car right now, the Hellcat, the Dodge Hellcat. Has a power to weight similar to what we're gonna be making.
Okay.
The car's pretty light, which is a big advantage, because then we don't have to generate that much power. Hellcat makes like 707 horsepower,
Mm.
not like exactly 707,
Yeah, yeah.
and we're gonna be making at about 600, right, horsepower, and we're gonna be all-wheel drive swapping the car as well. Like it's a full build. It's being done by a professional shop.
Yeah.
These guys know what they're doing. They've done it before. You know, I've trusted them. They have the car. They've had it since August last year. But yeah, it's gonna be a monster. It's gonna be the first of its kind. Nobody's ever done that degree of modification to this platform.
Yeah.
By platform I mean car. In the world, it's never been done in
Damn.
the world. Yeah, and actually, there's quite a lot of people following it.
Yeah,
right now.
that's
A
what
lot
I wanted to get to. Like,
crazy
so
followership
it's
right
not
now.
just like Sachin's like what do you call it, like mini project that he's just experimenting. Like this is thing like people been following you and they're
Yeah,
like
yeah.
getting up to date and
Yeah, people
asking you, right?
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Like at this point, I literally feel like I'm a pioneer for this car,
Yeah.
because the engine that came in this car doesn't make that much power.
Mm.
It's a 4-banger. It's a little engine. It's made for economy, getting you from A to B. It's a Kia.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Kias were never fast. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
So the whole idea of taking, a powerful it's another 4-banger, another 4-cylinder engine.
Yeah.
It's from a Honda. It's actually Acura, but Honda owns Acura. That engine, it's so proven, it's so powerful that it you can place that engine in a smaller chassis or another chassis and make the same amount of power as these V8s or the V6s out there, right? Like I have full details on the engine and the specs on my page and whatever. And it's just crazy because it's so affordable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you really were to like break it down into cost, you could do this on a student life. You know what I mean? Like you could do it.
Damn.
Yeah, you could do it on a budget. You plan accordingly. Like I've been modding the car since I bought it in 2018. You
Yeah.
know, like it's been slow progress, and we're at the point where we've modded literally everything, down to racing seats, headlight replacement, like deleting the emblems, blacking out the chrome. Yeah, it's
Nice.
wheels,
man.
tires, suspension. Like it's everything's been upgraded on the car. The only thing left is a roll cage and,
Roll cage.
and a big ass turbo.
Yeah. Yo, and like a Vin Diesel looking man, like to ride passenger.
Oh yeah, yeah.
No,
Definitely.
but I wanna like make sure you keep up with that and like
Definitely, bro.
obviously in every other episode, especially you're coming back, right? So
Definitely,
give us like
yep.
updates and
100%. I got you.
everybody like check the page out. Sachin, man, I want to thank you for coming. I'm so grateful. So
No worries,
happy.
bro. Thank you for having me, bro.
Yo,
Thank you
there's
so
so much to
much.
talk about still. There's so many stories to tell,
We haven't even
and
scratched the surface,
exactly.
bro.
So
It's nuts.
I can't wait to have you back. And like I said, man, just where can we find you? Like your
Y-
actual personal.
so you can hit me up at K24Coop on Instagram or at Sachino on Instagram. That's SACHINO ___ on
Yeah, bro,
Instagram.
you're a man of many talents, man. Like
Yeah, man.
decoder, trainer. Yeah, like if you need training and stuff,
Yeah,
so check
definitely.
him
Hit
out,
me. You
man.
can hit me up for personal training. I'm more than happy to train online clients. You know
And
what I
let me tell
mean?
you
Like
guys,
help you
he was a
guys
very
out.
good one. I'm not just saying that. Like in our gym, like he
Yeah,
was like top, and a lot of people were always asking for you and stuff. Very happy too. I
appreciate it,
was a
bro.
witness, so
I
I
appreciate
can
it,
vouch
bro.
for that. But yeah, thank you again, man. And remember that chaos is unavoidable, but we do the best that we can. Follow us on our pages, Out of Chaos Podcast on Instagram, Out of Chaos Podcast on YouTube, and catch you guys on the next one. Thank you.
Yep.